All right, let's do this one more video. Another one of my favorite contests ever, ever, ever. This one's called Poetry Out Loud. Believe it or not, this is a $20,000 contest, and the prize could be for scholarship or not upon the student's decision. So that's motivating when you hear the words $20,000, and students listen to that. People get really hyped for this. And really, to win that contest, you really just memorize three poems, and it is available to students, I think, from 8th through 12th grade. So again, let's explore this website a little bit, and I can testify on saying that I took students to the governor's mansion 3 different times, which meant that we won the local contest and went on to the state finals. And students did well each time we went to the state finals, but I've never been to the nationals, only watched them on the website. But the nationals happen in Washington, D.C., and the students and their families are invited to come perform. And really, really cool what happens. A lot of these young people that get involved in this contest, if I were to kind of call them back up, found that whatever it was about practicing these poems and getting used to being in front of a crowd, applied a lot more than just their craft in writing and poetry. So let's start looking through the tabs on the left. For starters, this contest has been around a little bit. So let's do about first, and you won't have to hear it from me. But there's rules and eligibility and about us. It's another one of these .org organizations. So it's national and it's non-for-profit, and it's sponsored by, I believe, the Foundation of the Arts, the National Endowment for the Arts, and the Poetry Foundation. So those are groups that definitely are not out to just get the information of your students, but are definitely safe and promoting the arts across the country. So if you come in here and you see the rules and eligibility, and you can even search and find out about past winners, it's another cool way to motivate is to study who won in the past and what poems they chose and how they performed them. These are small, poems are small, so they could be 2 or 3 minute performances that really do inject life into your class. And maybe you're going to work that in every so often, maybe on a Friday. Maybe a get to know you is for students to find a poem that they relate to or connect with in this set, and that they're going to start to memorize it. And we check in every once in a while to see if anybody's ready to do a piece for us. Memorizing, if you do it in a healthy way, you don't put tremendous pressure on people, it really does lead to laughter and giggling, and again, like intrigue when you listen to each other. And we practice having like the right setting to perform and to hear the words that come out of our students' mouths. So student eligibility looks like it's 9 through 12. 8th grade students participating in a 9 through 12th grade class would be okay, but it's really mainly a high school contest. You have to get to the state finals by winning a lower level competition. Like I said, schools house those competitions, and you actually get paid from the endowment here, I think $125 to run a school-based competition. So I did that for actually 13 years in a row, and we always brought somebody representative from Paseo Academy to compete in Poetry Out Loud. And it was kind of something that would happen again by the middle part of the year. So we were doing our contest probably in November or so to determine our school winner. And then we were working with them as much as we could to get ready for, I think the contest begins in about April on the local level, in the middle of National Poetry Month. So take a look at these rules and eligibility. See if that's going to be something that, you have any questions about, and I definitely won't read all that to you. The key dates, let's see if I'm making any of those up or that they're wrong. So state finals happen in a certain time, and in Missouri, state finals are March 10th. So yeah, it would be cutting it pretty close if you were just deciding your school winner by April or something. I don't think you would even been able to submit that name, but we do submit names generally about the holidays, and then these students who have submitted both a winner and a runner-up in case they can't make it go off and compete at the state finals in the event that they won at the local level. So There's generally a local regional director here in Kansas City. I believe right now it's our famous poet laureate area guy, Glenn North, who's a great friend. And he's behind the Poetry Out Loud in our state right now. You can also find that out by going to state contacts. And let's see if, again, we look up Missouri and who is behind our organization. Well, Glenn's the guy running it locally, but Missouri has Virginia Sanders. It's glad to see because when I was there in the contest, she was our contact as well. So you can always reach out to that person as a teacher and tell them you're signing up. In fact, you're supposed to commit to it and say you want to sign up pretty early in the school year. Okay, so let's look at accessibility. Okay. So this is about who it might be eligible. Everyone is eligible to take part in this contest, including students who need translation or may not be auditory students. So please keep in mind that it's a very broad category of openness for people to include themselves in this contest. It's very inclusive, and we want as many students to try out as possible. Okay, so then if I went to competition winners, you can see just in the past who has been taking care of business and being the national finalists. And generally, what's neat is I haven't participated since a while back, but I can remember Shantae Henry. She was featured on the website often, some wonderful poems. I can remember this Jackson Hill fella. He did some Billy Collins poems. So you generally get to see their work each year. So let's go back up here instead of about to find poems. Okay. So when I would browse poems, the neat part is that there's three categories. You have to choose three poems. One poem needs to be fewer than 25 lines. One poem needs to be before a certain time, I think pre-1900. And then one poem needs to be no rules in particular, but maybe a poem that is a little bit longer or more challenging. That way, the degree of difficulty is up there and really a cool thing to do. What also happens is students are attracted to certain poems and poets and then learn about their poetry. In fact, Elizabeth Acevedo, right here, who won the National Book Award for her Poet X, actually visited my class and taught it a couple days at Paseo, and it was so fantastic. She has a lot of great work, but you could memorize her work now. Two choices. You could memorize A Daughter Named After Nina, or Manhunt, or Ode to First Kisses. By doing so, you would just choose that as the poem and really practice on how you feel like it should sound. Like accuracy and saying the words correctly is definitely part of getting the highest score. So let's look at the competing tab. All right. We can watch some sample videos, which I was hoping that they still had because these were really powerful when we did these together. Oh, cool. Writ on the Steps of Puerto Rican Harlem. I remember watching this with my students. He does like a snap move that's really cool and draws attention. Here's Jackson Hill. They're still featuring him in this website. Oh, I love this poem and that it's in Spanish and English, bilingual, bilingue, and by Raina P. Espilat. And Sofia Elena Soberon is reading or reciting the piece. It's really fun. So you'll notice that these are not so much spoken word style presentations. What's neat is they separate poetry recitation from theater a little bit, and that it's really just to bring to life the words of the poem, not so much to overly dramatize or change the meaning of the poem with the way we present it. So you can go here to listen to poems. And again, it won't have video, but lots and lots of options here for you to choose and give choice to your students. And then in the final little part about competing, it talks about some suggestions on what you would do to be the best at reciting. And you might find that given this access to this website and taught about it, students might go home and practice and look around and shop around for options and then come back and tell each other about what they found and be really excited about it. So if you would like help in framing this in your classes, yeah, it's a 9th through 12th grade experience, please do reach out to me. I would love to come help facilitate that in your classroom. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing, and I hope this video has been helpful. Thanks so much for watching.